welcome back. We just thought we should do a small tribute to Alex. And then now that we're back, we will do our intro and welcome you properly to the program. Welcome, of course. I said it is a beautiful day, irrespective of anything. The day is beautiful and the day is blessed. You know, it's just for us to tap into the blessings of the day. I'm grateful to God, for life. We just talked about a 40-year-old, very exceptionally young man, who's touched the lives of so many people passing away. So who am I not to say that I am grateful for the life that God has given me, and of course for the voice that He's given me to speak and also to earn a living with. I am grateful, and of course, most especially, I'm grateful, for the opportunity to be sitting in front of you on the Breakfast Express show this morning. So I'd like to say to you, welcome. It may look a little bit cloudy, from the intro, and I know a lot of people are mourning, hearts are, broken. But guess what? God is still God, and He's still on the throne. So let's just look up to Him, and, He will console everyone that needs to be consoled. And for the rest of us who are alive, let's seize every moment that we have. According to Okwemi, he says, live life. So before you live life before you live. All right, again, I'd like to welcome you to the program. My name is Tom Adirile, and as usual, I am not alone. Each time I look to my left and I see Okwemi, I am always very grateful that he is here with me on the program. And together we try to push this show forward. And of course, there are a whole lot of beautiful people behind the scene that you don't see. And from me to them, it's all my love. All right, Okwemi, good morning.
Well, it's an amazing time to be alive, and
Yeah.
we extend our heartfelt sympathy to the family of Alex Okubo, his friends, his colleagues in the entertainment industry, and fans from a distance as well. He's someone that blessed us with some amazing art of artistry and expression on the screen. And I mean, it's tough. When you lose someone that there's been a lot of speculations. Where has he been? His last post was in 2024, and I'm glad. I mean, whatever pain he may have been going through, he would be resting now. And that's
Yeah.
just the simple message to everyone. We're having the conversation before the cameras came on, and I said, whether you like it or not, nobody's going to leave your life. There's probably no chariot of fire that will take anyone from here. Nobody's going to ascend into heaven. We'll still live and die. So the best thing is to live before you live. And it's a strong message to the people that live every day on covetousness. You want to have everything. You
Everything.
want to steal as much as you can steal. But the brutality of death is so bad that the moment you die, your chapter closes forever. Nobody cares about what you left behind. In fact, if you have the privilege of looking over your shoulder and see how people are fighting over what you labored for, then you know that there's nothing here. Like my boss side far would always say, Kini Kono, what is it that we are acquiring wealth for? What is it that you want to die for? What
Is
is
your
it that you
boss
are
over 60?
stealing? He's not.
Is
But
not?
he grew up with his grandparents. So,
Okay.
and the question is, what are you acquiring all this wealth for? Why are you stealing money? You are buying 50 cars. Nobody is saying luxury is bad. But remember, the moment you leave, you're gone. So just live right.
40. Multiple Nigerian media outlets and colleagues in the industry have reacted emotionally to the news. Known for his handsome appearance, luxury fashion sense, expensive cars, vacations, and success.
Okay. Had you finished?
This morning.
Oh, I thought your intro was.
His best, related well. I mean, he's a guy that a lot of ladies like because obviously he's good looking and all of that. But at the end of the day, everybody will still die. So when they tell you that somebody stole so and so money, and I'm like, how many plate of food you want to eat at the same time? How many houses can you sleep at once? How many cars can you drive at once? You know, it's very funny that a lot of people even have monies and investment that their families are not aware of, and once they die, nobody will be there to claim those things. I think for me, more than anything else, the message is very clear. Every single day you wake up, imagine that you have eternity to live, and also imagine that that could be your last day. The person you are talking to could be the last person you will see. This person you just saw now, you may probably never see the person again. So at the end of the day, just do the right thing, stay up on your game, make sure that you don't cheat people, make sure that you don't hold grudges. If people offend you, let it go, because once your chapter closes, you know, death is such one that it doesn't even tell you it's coming. Once it comes, it doesn't say, please give me 3 minutes and let me apologize to this person and let me mend my ways, let me write my will. The moment your time comes, there's nothing anybody wants to do about it. It's Alex today has been a lot of. I also lost a friend of mine, a brother friend of mine, Kola Onifoto, also this year, you know, power bike accident and all of that. So I always tell people that make sure that while you still yet live, you live your life and your memories.
All right, long one. All right, the show must go
The
on
show has to
anyway.
go
It
on.
has to go
It
on
has to
anyway.
go on.
Okay, I was just looking at, you know, clips, and thank you so much, Odi. David, you're always on top of your game. Looking at clips of him, you know, really he almost brought tears to my eyes. Very handsome, extremely handsome young lad. And, well, one would have thought the world was his for the taking, but God said, come
It's
home.
time.
Okay, we're going to start with the Punch newspaper. It's time for us to look at our newspapers and do a review of the stories that made the headlines. The above the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, Presidential Fleet Operations gulp 4.24 billion in 6 months. That's the first report, and I think we'd like to talk a little about it. Nigeria keeps going and borrowing, you know, every time and time again. We keep going and borrowing. And here we have Presidential Fleet Operations, gulp 4.24 billion in only 6 months. What is the problem? Now, if we shed 4.24 billion for a number of communities, of people who don't have food to eat, who don't know where their next meal will come from, who apparently are working really hard. They go out every morning, probably they walk to the farm and come back. It's not as if they're sitting at home.
If they're even lucky to come back.
That's if they're lucky to come back
This
alive.
state of security.
Exactly. You know, these people may not have food to eat. Some of them will get to their farms and their farms have been destroyed. There's nothing to farm anymore. The hopeful have become hopeless in Nigeria. And we're talking about 4.24 billion like we didn't talk about anything at all. I think Nigeria has a huge problem that needs to be fixed in a hurry. But I don't understand if the people who need to fix this problem, and apparently are the same people who have created the problem, I don't think they know that there is this problem that needs to be fixed. But one thing is certain. Posterity will judge everybody. We just talked about a young man, 40 years only. 40 years only, but 40 successful and fulfilled years. 40 years of people mourning in pain and groaning out of heartache that he has passed on. What will yours be? That's the question.
Well, I just hope you do the right thing. Again, when the government tells us to tighten our belts, and when they tell us to endure the very difficult moments, and then you look at how much is a case of do what I say,
don't do
not
what I do.
what I'm doing. You look at the luxury. You know, the residence of the vice president was renovated with 22 billion. 22 billion.
What
is a
about
lot
the
of
First
money.
Lady's office?
Exactly. The first lady's office is not even constitutional, but they are carrying our Commonwealth to still fix it. They are allocating funds for those places. The presidential fleets, even when the president travels and they park it, they pay huge amount of taxpayers' monies for that place to service it, to
Of course,
maintain
just
it.
for parking it, yeah, and
Exactly.
maintenance, yeah.
So when you look at that gulf of difference between the government and the governed, it looks like there's a brick wall as high and long as the Great Wall of China dividing both of us. So if you are telling me that I should tighten my belt and I'm struggling to feed once a day, I'm not even talking of balanced diet too, just food as basic as
Anyhow,
decent
just
food in my
something to go
mouth.
into one's stomach.
And then somebody is telling me look at a huge amount of money in just 6 months or thereabouts that we spent on servicing the presidential fleet.
Such a shame. What is not a very good way to have started the report on the Punch newspaper for me. Okay, UN demands probing to civilian deaths in Nigerian airstrikes. Why?
Well, I think we've gotten to that page where we need to say our tale of the truth, and we've said it on this platform over and over again. If you are caught in the web of the wrong place, you have to face the
Exactly. So I'm
consequences.
trying to understand why.
Whatever happened at that
Why the probe?
Gili markets at that border time between Yobe and Borno, whether civilians or what, the state government, the defense headquarters had come out to say that we did not kill innocent people. Everyone in that place has
Was
an
there for a
affiliation or
transaction.
something to transact with the criminals.
Yep.
So for the one that happened in Zamfara as well, yes, I understand the place of the UN demanding and all of that, but is the UN also demanding how many people are getting killed on
That
the
was
plateau
where I
every
was
day?
going. Correct.
Are they demanding that, because it's not a war situation. When there's war, there are rules of engagement. Ukraine and Russia have been fighting now for over 4 years. I'm not sure there's a single day they record as much casualties as we record in Nigeria, that we are not even facing war. Iran, US, Israel have been fighting for how many months now? I'm not sure I've seen a place where they say 42 people got killed in one day. So we're not even in a war situation, and people are getting killed every day. I understand again that yes, there must be balance. You have to make sure that the airstrikes came from intelligence. And so when the people had come out and said that there is no innocent person in that market, in Zamfara market, because look at the case of the Gili market. The government came and said that we've closed that market for many years.
5 years.
So you are running the market illegally, and they tell you that that place is a hub for even exchange of victims of abduction. You bring ransom there, you drop ransom, they give you the person you are coming to collect. And so if the government is saying that this Zamfara that we attacked, it was not a mistake. It was not a failed attack. It was deliberate, well calculated, and intelligence driven. So I don't understand what the UN is looking for.
Neither do I. All right, 500 billion naira fraud probe. EFCC detains energy commissioner and DG. All right. 33.8 billion naira fraud. Court jails ex-power minister Maman for 75 years. In fact, life imprisonment. No, in other words now.
I think that's one thing we talk about during our focus. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
topics we
Yeah.
focus on.
Okay, Dangote rejects NNPC offer to increase stake in refinery. Miwo Ilaro.
Food done now. Food is done.
Oh my,
Everybody
oh
wants
my.
to remove
Why don't we have any shame? I don't think we have any shame at all. NNPC, a whole NNPC is going to ask Dangote that they want to increase their stake in his refinery. In fact, I just think that with this headline, the MD of NNPC should just tender a resignation letter. It's such a shame.
You
honestly.
fix our own refinery, you did not fix it. You are collecting billions of tax.
The thing is that they cannot fix it. It is
then
obsolete.
A man that decided to pump in his hard-earned investment, over $20 billion.
And you're now asking for a stake in it.
Which stake are you looking for? Fix
Why
your
are we so
refinery, my
greedy in
friend.
this night?
Fix your refinery and stop
Anyway,
looking for when you have not sown.
let's read the riders to that story. Refinery supplies over 3.2 trillion petrol to local markets in 3 months amid falling imports. US-Iran conflict boosts refinery earnings. Output climbs to 661,000 barrels per What did I say? Yeah,
per day.
per day. Sorry. Okay. Dangote Group eyes $100 billion revenue target by 2030. Why refinery declined NNPC offer? Do they even really need to say why they declined? They should. I don't think they don't owe an obligation to
Oh,
anybody. Honestly, they don't need to tell them why they declined. They declined. They declined. That's it. Final. Okay. Bank flagged ex AGF Malamis transactions. Weakness tells court. Customs and DLA intercept 16 billion naira cannabis shipment. My problem with this NDLEA and customs, as much as we may praise them, that they're working. I need to know the end result
of
of
some of those
all these
seized items.
seizures. Do you understand? They need to tell us what happened to them. Did they destroy them? Are they still in circulation? We need to get the facts of this thing, and we need, evidences. Little, clips here and there to say, oh, this that was seized, the 16 billion naira cannabis. This is it being destroyed and all of that. But we don't get all of that, and you know how Nigeria is. I really don't trust any agency.
Because those things can still find their way
Yeah,
back into the streets.
I'm
So
sure.
I even have my reservation on this idea of burning or destroying these things, as long as they're not cannabis or cocaine and all of that. I've seen where customers said, oh, they intercepted 1,000 bags of rice, and then they will show the picture that they are destroying it, frozen food, turkey, and all of that. I have a school of thoughts, and I feel like it's something we can look into. Rather than keeping those things in your warehouse and then they get damaged, and at the point they were seized, and it was obvious that this was brought in illegally as contraband, why don't you take them to IDP camps? Why keep them in a place and destroy this rice and turkeys where there
Or
are
sometimes they even
millions of...
sell. Sometimes they sell them, and then people kill
So
themselves.
yeah, they say they want to auction some,
They
of,
auction
these
some of
things,
these things,
and then we
and
find out that most
a lot
times
of
the
people.
auctions are not even properly done. There are rumors that some of the people selling rice at the border, they are related to some of these, allegedly, some of these custom people. So once they seize these things, that if you go to some of these semi border or Igolo, you see how they mark bags of rice. They'll mark it. So maybe this 1,000 bags belongs to one particular officer. So there are people that they are their agent across the border that they used to distribute those things, and those ones will sell it. Sometimes they will even rebag it, reduce the size, and reseal it. So you are buying 50 kg, and the worth of what you are buying is like 42 or 45 kg, but they've taken out of it again. But I'm feeling like rather than for us to keep these things in warehouses and burn them and all of that, why don't we take them to IDP camps?
Yeah.
There are places where people are struggling, they can barely eat. I think that's something the government look into. Once you bring in a contraband that is consumable, it's not drugs or cocaine or cannabis or anything, as quick as possible. Have you checked it? It's contraband. Are there document for it? No. Have you been able to identify the owner? No, yeah. IDP camp in Brno, take it there straight. And that's what I think it's something we can do.
I think that's a very good idea, but you know how it is. People are not thinking. All they're thinking about is themselves and their pockets and money. Okay, U.S. lawmaker bill 6 mandatory Sharia rejection by immigrants. U.S.-based Nigerian doctor escapes death in Oyo mob attack. And finally, from Punch newspaper, 2027, NDC reps caucus holds talks with Obi and Kwakwanso. That's it from the Punch newspaper. Let's go and look at the Nation.
Okay, so the Nation is also reporting APC kicks off with House of Representative primaries. Abbas, Kalu, Ionvere, Doguwa, Faleke, Obasa, Amewule, others in race for tickets. Remember the first day, one of the longest serving members of House of Assembly in Nigeria, that's
Obasa.
Right Honorable Mudashi Obasa, announced his successor in Agege constituency 1. The former chairman is succeeding him in the House of Assembly. Then he's putting himself forward to represent the good people of Agege Federal Constituency in Abuja. So it's something a lot of people are looking into. Federal government targets mass home ownership through PPPs. Would rather have no plan to resign from the APC, says Governor Fubara. That is on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. Tariff crisis gets importance against shipping lines. Operators allege neglects. And on the jailed former Minister of Power, 33.8 billion naira fraud, ex-minister Maman bags 75 years jail term. Tinubu, Kagame move to deepen Nigeria-Rwanda ties. There's a picture of the leaders of Oyo State All Progressive Congress, Chief Goke Oyebanji of Iwajowa in the Okeogun zone, Alhaji Isiaka Alimi, Akinyele local government, Alhaji Wale Sanusi, Ibadan North local government, and a couple of those leaders endorsing the former Minister of Power, that's Adelabu, to contest for the seat of Oyo State governor. I was putting emphasis on endorsing. So there's a big difference between endorsing a candidate and having a consensus. So most of these things we are seeing is endorse. Consensus means that everybody that had interest must be made to agree to that candidate. That is why I'm saying is that if the man that picked up the nomination form against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Stanley Osifo, 100 million he has already paid, if he does not agree to step down, he will go to the primaries with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and nothing is going to happen. So consensus means that we are 5 justly for this seat. At the moment in APC, there are 11 APC members that want to go for the Oyo State governor seat. That want to succeed Seyi Makinde.
He better be careful. The Stanley better be careful, because the next thing is that EFCC is going to.
No, he's a smart guy.
Something is.
He's a smart guy.
They don't talk like this, Okpe. You always Okpe.
No, I'm just looking at it from the political scope. So we
from
know
the political scope.
Yeah, we know of a governor in this country that came fourth in an election, and is a governor right now. In fact, he's one of the biggest governors in the All Progressive Congress. He came fourth in the election. So there are a lot of things that have. How did Yaya Bello become a governor? It was the day of the election that Prince Audu, the APC candidate, died. And then Honorable James Faleke was running. He said they should. They said the constitution says no, you are not the owner of that ticket. Yaya Bello came second in the primaries. In fact, he was almost leaving the APC and they called him back and they gave him the ticket. So you never can tell. Maybe this man is saying, what if courts eventually raise an issue and disqualify President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
What I'm saying is that the fact that he's standing against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he better be careful, because tomorrow he's going to be picked up by EFCC for money laundering, for one stuff or
maybe
the other.
they even put it to make it look at least competitive.
I don't know what the game is, because I never can trust anything. Honestly, I can't trust anything. But let's just hope that it turns out well. You know, if the president wants a
competition, if he wants a consensus,
obviously he doesn't want competition. Obviously he doesn't want, and that's my worry, that he doesn't want competition. Why is anyone wanting to compete with him as we speak? Do you understand? It's clear and it's obvious that he doesn't want competition. He wants to go the whole hog. We have talked on the table. We've said competition is a better way to go about it. It's healthy, it's democratic, and all of it. We said all the things that we need to say. We've exhausted the words that we need to use. Do you understand? We've said everything that we need to say. So, but we can see the handwriting on the wall is that he wants a consensus. So I'm worried for the man who wants to come up against
before
him.
they ask him where he got money to collect.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's when there'll be a probe. That's when there'll be investigation. That's when,
and he'll be kept somewhere.
That's when
after primaries.
There you go.
All right, that's much the nation. And let's check the other newspaper.
Okay, I'm going to be looking at The Hope. APC clears Ondo Speaker and 47 others for assembly primaries. The riders are 48 aspirants screened ahead of intra-party contest, and candidates to emerge via consensus or direct primaries. NDLEA intercepts 10.4 billion Canadian loud at Lagos port. So this is different from the cannabis. Okay, so
there are variances of it now.
Yeah, so this is different, and this is 10.4 billion naira worth of Canadian loud at Lagos port. You know, I don't even know how they come up with all these names. Canadian loud. Okay, Ayedatiwa urges peaceful conduct ahead of the APC primaries. Still on The Hope newspaper, ex-Power Minister Maman jailed 75 years, over 33.8 billion naira fraud. Abuja Federal High Court convicts former minister on 12 counts filed by the EFCC. Court orders forfeiture of foreign currencies for Abuja properties, direct Interpol-led manhunt as jail term begins on arrest. Police burst cult initiation camp and nabbed 24 suspects in Ondo community. Not even in the university, not in the higher institution, the polytechnic or whatever. It's in the community. So you see, these cult activities have spread outside the institutions of higher learning.
Small children now.
That's
Boys
what-
have not even gained admission.
That's
to
what I
university.
hear. That's what I hear. They even say secondary schools. Even in
Yes,
Lagos, they say
yes.
there's a notorious secondary school in Aja area of Lagos, you know, where the cult activity is super dangerous. Okay, driver kills employer in Delta and flees with Toyota Prado to Anambra. To do what? First of all, how are you going to, well, he want to sell it, but guess what? The blood that's on his hands is going to cry, you know, and is going to bring him to book. You kill the owner of a car because you want the car. Why don't you just take the car peacefully and tell the owner that you're taking this car, otherwise you kill him. He will leave the car for you. I don't know what's becoming of Nigerians. You know, we can blame the government all we want, but we also need to blame the people, because we are even worse in our thinking, you know, in our actions, and in so much more. We don't even care about the next person. It's not only the government that's not caring. We are not caring. How can you even think of killing? How can you even have that thought in your mind? How can you have that thought? Now, you didn't just only have the thought, but you also nurtured that thought up to the point that you carried out the act. That's very bad. I wish he is brought to book as soon as possible. EFCC arrests Energy Commissioner DG over 500 billion naira fraud. Everybody is taking a piece of the cake. So what's the problem now? Why is anybody upset about it? No, he who is not guilty, let him cast the first stone. That's the thing. You know, if you're not guilty, cast the first stone. Ondo cracks down on land grabbers and remands 2. Attorney General warns against illegal land sales. Says Ayedatiwa won't tolerate economic sabotage. And that's it from the Hope newspaper.
Okay, I think we still have one more. Yes,
no, we have a
the
couple
Guardian.
more.
Okay, I think we have a couple
We have
more.
Daily Independent and we
Yes.
have Daily Trust, and then
Let me check Guardian. UN urges independent probe into deadly Nigeria-Chad airstrikes. That is on page 3. The coalition ADC now stable after Obi Kwakwaso's exit. That is from Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Says ADC is now stable after Obi Kwakwaso's exit.
So what
started telling us that those
were the
people,
troublemakers.
but the court issues in the ADC started before Obi or Kwankwaso joined the party.
I don't know what they are talking about.
In fact, Obi made the party more visible. Rabbi Musa Kwankwaso made the party more known.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not being truthful. He knows that what he's saying is an untruth. I didn't say it's a lie. I said it's an untruth. It's not true. It's as simple as that.
Wike defends visit to APC chairman, condemns politics of enmity. Federal government fixes June for nationwide digital switchover. As court jails ex-power minister Saleh Maman, 75 years, over 22 billion naira fraud.
Sorry, can you take the story before that one?
Federal
About the digital switch.
fixes June for nationwide digital TV switchover.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Aviator protest assault demands sanctions for Air Force personnel. As APC battle screening issues, defense violence, fears of over primaries. Well, there's a picture at the bottom right corner of the Guardian, and then you can see the former governor of Ekiti State, and a member of the PDP, Peter Ayodele Fayose, the governor of Ekiti State, Abiodun Yebanji, and of course the leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, yes, at the rally yesterday. So we've seen them. Fayose is still a member of the PDP, but less than a year into the administration of Abiodun Yebanji, has been campaigning for Abiodun Yebanji for second term and is a member of the PDP. And his party is fielding candidates in that election. So when I tell people that in Nigeria, there's nothing like philosophy when it comes to politics. You can eat breakfast in APC, eat lunch in PDP, and enjoy a good meal of whatever you want at dinner in Labour Party. But the big story for the Guardian, IMF exposes Nigeria's budgeting gaps as execution crisis deepens. That is page 6. Nigeria's fiscal fragility, the rising cost of budgeting discipline. I don't know, maybe you've seen a copy of the 2026
I wish we could look at that, the story. I wish we could read the story, but we can't.
Have you seen the 2026 budget?
No.
Okay, I've not seen it as well. And I'll tell you for a fact that there are certain things that we look for when we need them. But I'm trying to understand the secrecy around our budgeting system in Nigeria. We don't have a mechanism to assess or examine budget performance. So there are projects that were submitted previous years, approved, monies released for those projects, and they will still reappear again in the next budget.
So that's what I'm saying. You're just saying we don't have, you said we don't have what for our budget?
We don't have indices to check our performance.
Do we have indices to check our spending performance? We don't. So, I mean, you are talking about the budget. What about the spending? We budget and then we get the money and then we spend. Nobody is telling us anything. That's one of the things we've been saying, that we need to hold our leaders accountable. And in our own little way, we do that every day. We're saying our leaders are not accountable, but they're not listening. Right now, they're preparing for re-election. You understand what I'm saying? So nobody cares about anybody anyway, you know, and we don't even care about ourselves. That's why, you know, a driver will kill his boss.
Because of a car.
Because of a car. We don't care about ourselves, you know. That's why all sorts of horrible things are happening. That's why we'll be trafficking drugs, you know, killing people. Yeah. What's his name now?
Power Friday.
You never forgot that name.
No, I can't. When you use your old age to set bad example.
I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not something to be laughed at. It's really upsetting, and it could sometimes be, you know, permit me to use a very strong word. It could be nauseating, you know. Okay, see, are you still on the...
No, we're done.
You're done with the Guardian. Okay, the Daily Independent tells us that the court jails ex-minister, 75 years, over 33.8 billion fraud. Fubara denies joining NDC. He reaffirms his loyalty to APC. And you see, when this kind of thing happens, I am almost...
Questions already.
I'm almost sure, because each time Okpebolo did the same thing, you know. I can't. Too many people have done the same. They try to reassure people that their loyalty lies to the party that they're in, and 2 days later, you hear that they have...
No, because there are questions around where your loyalty is. It's just like somebody passing a vote of confidence on you. It's because somebody is questioning your capability to be in that post. So when you come out to constantly defend something, that means somebody somewhere is checking the reason why you're still doing that thing. So if I come out to say, oh, I'm still a member of the APC, that means you are hearing rumor that they said you are going to the NDC. So if you have to constantly come and defend yourself, then it means that there's an element of truth in the rumor you are coming to deny.
Wow. Okay, so the banner headline for the Daily Independent: Nigeria ready for nationwide digital switchover. And that's coming from the federal government, and sets commissioning of DSO platform for June 17th. NDLEA intercepts 10.4 billion Canadian loud at Lagos port. Is it the airport or the seaport? It just says Lagos port.
10.4 billion is a huge, it's a lot of money. And by the time these things get into the market, the street value will probably be triple of what we are seeing here.
That's what I'm saying. We don't care for ourselves. UUTH shuts down. CMD appeals to federal government and state after EFCC raid. Well,
That's University of Uyo Teaching Hospital.
Yes.
There were issues around whether the people deserve the rights and all of that. But I feel really bad that you could go into such a place, and as people that are on age, people representing the government, and you were throwing tear gas at doctors in an hospital environment. Sometimes when you look at the rascality, and apologies for that word, the manner at which some of these people exhibit in court,
No, that's
we
not
do our job.
That's not rascality. That's not rascality, honestly. That's just exhibiting the fact that they don't have initiative. Because when you have initiative, there's certain, they send you to do something, and then you do it with sense
And decorum.
and decorum. That's the word. You do it with some decorum, But when you go and you execute your job like somebody who has no sense, then that's where there's a problem. How do you see doctors? But you see, again, how sometimes, society, there's a lot of complex. Do you understand? They're doctors, and hence, so what? These people haven't done anything to you, but just because they're doctors, in your mind, you're already feeling that they feel that they have immunity. Meanwhile, these people are slaving themselves 24/7, running shifts overnight, leaving their families, to save lives, other people's lives. And I know, this really drives home for me, because I have a doctor, and I know how she abandoned the family because she said that Nigeria needed her during COVID, and the tendency for her to go down as well. And she said, "Mommy, I'm going to the battlefront because people need me. People are dying." I begged her, I cried, I did everything. I said, "Please stay." And I was thinking about me, myself, and I was thinking about my daughter. I didn't want to lose her. That's all I was thinking about. But she taught me to think, in a broader perspective, to see things from a broader point of view, that other people also, want to live as much as I want her to live. And she took that step, like I said, and she went in there. And for months, we didn't see her. So when people sacrifice their entire being like that for other people, and then some people see them already as rivals.
When I saw the report of that raid, what really happened, for background, is that
I don't get it.
They said EFC said they're investigating the suspect, and then the suspect submitted a medical report. So they went to University of Uyo Teaching Hospital to verify that report, and they said they were met with resistance. And then in the process of that, the one of the cardiologists in the hospital and the Akwa Ibom State chapter chairman, NME, Nigerian Medical Association, were actually tear gassed and rough-handed and handcuffed. So I'm trying to understand, at what point did it degenerate to the point where you are throwing tear gas in an hospital environment where there are already people having medical challenges? What kind of resistance do you want to get in an hospital space? It's not a motor park. It's not a student hostel where we know that some students can be very funny at times. You went into an hospital environment. Okay, we want to confirm whether the medical report that this suspect submitted is true or false. Whatever it was, whatever resistance you got, probably they said that, okay, you cannot carry gun into an hospital ward. You cannot come in like this. And you know how these FC people used to do. Come into your house, kick your door, break your door, shoot at your door, harass you, molest you, treat people as if they are dealing with animals. So I'm trying to know, at what point did the issue of handcuffs got in? At what point did the issue of releasing tear gas in an hospital environment?
Now, let me even tell you something. You want to confirm a medical report. There is protocol.
A protocol
straight. Look, nobody, no right-thinking doctor will
give you information
like that.
Without doing the right thing.
Exactly, without getting, first of all, a go-ahead from their boss. Do you know how they could lose their job so easily?
Yes, because there's confidentiality.
I don't know what is wrong with our law enforcement agents sometimes. EFCC, you guys need to get yourselves together. Because you carry guns does not mean that you shouldn't think your process through. Come on. I think that it is so wrong. They say to whom much is given,
much is
expected. On this program, we give you guys kudos. Sometimes we tell you when we don't think you're doing the right thing. And this is one of those times. You don't go to hospitals and start releasing tear gas.
For what?
What if your mother and your father were there? Or your brother and your sister were there, or your cousin? Is that how you release tear gas? But because it doesn't concern me, that's the attitude. I think we need to go back to the drawing boards and re-strategize. What is it about these weapons and guns? Listen, look, people die just once. After all, a man has sat in his house and wanted to shoot a gun as a journalist
for sharing it, and
that journalist, the truth is, he won't have died twice. He would have died just once. Look at that youth copper. His arms were already tied and he was begging. He said, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. And he still killed him. And he shot him just once. He died. So come on, really. It's just a bullet. Stop threatening people and thinking that you guys are larger than life because you have a weapon. Put those weapons down and match men,
away from that weapon, man for man.
They put you on the ground. We need to be reasonable. We really need to be reasonable, honestly. Still on the Daily Independent, piracy eliminated in Nigerian waters. Tinubu assures. Well, I hope that is true. If it's true, I think that's a good thing, and that's I'd like to say congratulations to him. He says he arrives in Kigali for Africa's CEO Forum. There were rumors yesterday that he didn't go to Kigali. Nigerians, there's no extent to which they cannot get. They said he wasn't there, that the president was not in Kigali.
I mean, we know he's in Kigali.
We know that he's in Kigali. I was arguing. I said, look, I don't know how to run people down. If I say something, that's not too pleasing to the president, it's not because I have anything personal against him. No. I'm just saying things that, I'm expressing to him, what people think from the other side, how people see certain things that he does. But I mean, I'm not going to join people to say that he didn't travel to Kigali, when we of course know that he traveled to Kigali. And it was a great argument. I said, you guys, just keep quiet and stop talking, because the man is in Kigali, he's working. And
he's attending those things.
Yes, he actually is.
For the very first time now, Nigeria will be hosting the CAF, Confederation of African Football Awards, and the 62nd Extraordinary Congress. This is the first time in many, many years. And the president met with the CAF president, Motsepe, on the side of this particular forum going on. So if people are saying the president, I've been in this country where people are arguing, people that went to school, people that are young minds that should be creative and right thinking, saying that former, now late President Buhari was yes. And
I couldn't get over that. Like, they said he's not our president, guys
that we've been friends for many years. And those statements made me question their level of, no disrespect, their level of IQ. They said there's in the year of Buhari, the one that is there now is something from Niger, is something. And I'm like, listen, you can talk about maybe organ change, you can talk about maybe blood drain, you can talk about, but for you to wake up and tell me that the president was cloned, that is a rabbi from Mali, and I'm like, how? If he's a president that is functional, apologies, or is a president that has the mental capacity to rule a country of this size, I could understand the need for the cloning. Buhari was a major disaster for us for the 8 years he was president. He took us way back to where we never, ever prayed to become again. So when you think you wake up, I say, they cloned him. And I'm like, guy, we go school together. Like, you can tell me so many other things. But for you to wake up and tell me that Buhari was cloned.
I mean, that always beats my imagination. I couldn't fathom how anybody would
They said it's Jubril. That's the name I'm looking for. That is Jubril from Niger Republic. And I'm like, how?
It's so
So some people are arguing now that the president was not. So these pictures and these videos, are they AI generated?
They are AI. That AI can do anything. So they are AI generated, in their opinion. You see, the thing is that as much as we want to say that, okay, we're not feeling the effect of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies, and it does not mean that he's not doing anything. It's just that,
of course,
it's just that it will take time to trickle down. And what we are trying to say, is that why doesn't he look at ways that the people can feel an almost immediate effect
Impact.
of the impact? You understand? So that's our suggestion. That's our recommendation. Because once the people don't feel it, then nobody's going to say that he's doing anything. But is he working? Yes, he's working. Is he doing it the right way? Maybe not the way we think is right, but in his own opinion, it is right. Because what is right is relative, is how you see it. But it doesn't mean we should bring him down to the level of, oh, he's not in Kigali, and he's saying he's in Kigali. Where are the pictures coming from? We have our issues as well. Okay, 24,000 scholars to benefit from $65 million World Bank funding, and that's coming from the NUC. Finally, from the Daily Independent, convicted ex-AG loses multi-billion naira assets investment to federal government. AG of the Federation. Sometimes the way these newspapers put their abbreviations, you start to wonder in your head, because it says
Attorney
XAG,
General of the
AGOF.
Federation.
No, but the off is not standing alone. It's joined with the. So I was trying to figure in my head what it could be, and then I was able to decode it. All right, let's go to the next newspaper.
I think the next newspaper should be Daily Trust.
Yes.
And yes, Barau Louds Tinubu says consensus agreement is fostering unity. Predicts landslide victory for APC in the general election. Senator Jibrin Barau is from Kano and is the Deputy Senate President for this current 10th Assembly. As Mambila project stalls, court jails Maman for 75 years for 33.8 billion naira fraud. And EFCC arrests Energy Commission DG over alleged 500 billion naira money laundering. Government kills 2 custom officers in Kebbi as Otedola tightens first hold co-control with the purchase of 43 billion naira shares. Obi Kwankwaso wanted automatic tickets in PRP. That is coming from Akim Baba Ahmed. Akim Baba Ahmed is an uncle to Peter Obi's running mate in 2023, Dati Baba Ahmed. But he's now the former special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on political.
I know.
So he resigned. He's now the national chairman of the PRP, the People's Redemption Party. They said that the oldest political party in Nigeria.
They are.
And Akim Baba Ahmed says that the reason why they couldn't absorb Peter Obi and Rabi Musa Kwankwaso into the fold is that they were demanding for automatic tickets. So maybe that was what NDC offered them.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe that was why.
Maybe.
That's it.
Okay, that's it, and that's how we would like to round up this segment of the newspaper review. We'll take yet another break, and when we return, we'll go to our discussion segment. So please stay tuned. There's more for you.